ripping the fast time out there. Chaz Bach, I was like, oh man, he's running like an 18.054, and I looked down at the Bryce Morley, and he's doing a 17.1.
Oh my gosh.
Going up through the field. Up to our next heat race. IMCA Modified's coming out on the track.
Looks like Chaz Bach is going to be in this group as well, so may have a little delay kicking him off.
Go through your lineup right now for IMCA Modifieds. Heat race number 1. And the 51B lead him around out of Bakersfield, California, Brian Clark. Waiting for the one to jump back in here will be the 75 JR out of Mesa, Arizona, Chaz Baca again. And the 28 out of Lakeside, Matthew Hicks. That's in the second row. Outside second row will be the 43 out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Brady Gadley.
Looks like Brady Glad, yeah.
Brady Gladley. I can't. Tongue-tied. On to row 3, the 911 out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Vinny Rucci. Outside him will be the 38 out of Campo, Michael, the Wild Thing. And on the last row, the 11 out of San Diego, Dennis Taylor.
Looks like we're going to have another big field of the modifieds tonight. We got 21 in this first of 3 heat races.
Strong showing from all the divisions. Our pure stocks are strong again tonight. We actually have, I think, 24.
Oh, my.
So we'll see. We're hoping not to have to run a B main. So maybe we'll see how that goes during the heat races. I think there's going to be like 4 heat races from top 3 or top 4 from each heat race will transfer to the main. And they will take the last 8 for the transfer from a B main if we have to do a B main. If we don't have to do a B main, then the heat races will line up your main event for your pure stocks. That'll be a little bit later. Once again, right now in your IMCA Modified heat race number 1, looking for the 75 of Baca to show back up. Once again, just out there in the IMCA Stock Car Street Stock division.
I'll tell you what, for those folks that weren't here last night, you missed some really good racing, especially with the modifieds here. These drivers were going 3-4 across, coming down in, out of turn 4, coming down the straightaway. It was madness. They were on top of each other. Every race looked like it was a jump start because everybody's foot was ready to go. So I expect nothing but the same tonight.
Well, they did a ton of land rush starts. As soon as the green dropped, everyone's going from the back to the front. The heat races were kind of brutal. The sun was in our eyes and then a little bit of dust, but then came back out during intermission, cut the track. Once again, our plate operator, Ken, came out here, did a beautiful job, recutting the track, rewatered it, put some hydration back down our dirt Zamboni, and we rolled it back in. And main events came out, and I don't know what some of these people watched last night, but they're like, oh, that track was a one groove track. Everyone just, no passing. I'm like, I saw 3 wide over here in turn 3-4, man. They were just hammering it, going to the top to the bottom. Chaz Bach almost backed it up to the wall one time.
It was exciting, really exciting. And the green flag is flying. Right away, Baca's challenging number 51, Brian Clark from Bakersfield for the lead. Nine 11's looking good. Slowing down now to turn 2 is the 11 car, Dennis Taylor. He caught a grip real quick and took off shortly after that. So not too much of an issue as Baca and Clark still fight it out at the front. '39 car and the 38 car of Michael Thing pulls up in front of the 43 car. That'll bring him up into 5th position. It looks like Clark is starting to extend his lead out on Baca. but they're running two separate lines. So it's interesting to see which one works better. That's some good information that they'll be able to use come main event time. White flag flies for number 51, Brian Clark. And it looks like that's the way it's going to be as Clark comes down in the 51 for the checker flag. Brian Clark, followed by Chaz Baca, Matt Hicks, the 91 of Vinny Rauchi, the 38 of Michael Thing, top 5. Then you pull in your 43 car, Brady Glad, and then Dennis Taylor in the 11.
Talking about ripping off some times, man, Brad. That Brian Clark out in front, 15, some fat 15s, high 15s, 15 and a handful of chain. Like 15.813 was like their time. It's not the fastest time we have out here. Michael Thing has the fastest time right now. 2 races ago, he threw out a fast time here in a trophy dash, broke the track record on time, and they're getting pretty close to it. We'll have to see how the next heat race goes. Heat race number 2, IMCA Modifieds. Out on the track right now. Going to be looking at, he calls this track his home track, even though the 59 out of Laughlin, Nevada, Danny Perry III, and the 28T, Trevor Fitz out of Camarillo, California. And the road 2, the 4D out of Imperial Beach to Keith Altig. Outside of him, the 77 out of Ramona Koldick. Road number 3 is going to have the 44C of William Hackett and the 33D out of Hamul, California here, PJ Dyke will be your lineup for heat race number 2. So these just joining us on IMCA TV. Here's a free look at what's going on here at Barona Speedway. The diamond up on the mountain here at Barona, California. IMCA right now, we're in IMCA heat race number 2 for sport mods, or modifieds. IMCA modifieds here as we're waiting. Had a little bit of debris on the track. This is the second heat race rolling out as we're rolling in the top here. Had a little bit of debris on the track, so our safety workers out on the track looking it over. And there's the 4D of Keith Altig. Better late than never, buddy.
Good to see him driving out. He went off on a wrecker last night, so good to see him back on the track and racing up again.
We had a brutal night last night for some, and some it was a great night. I came out here early this morning, or actually midday, going through the pits, welcomed a lot of the new drivers that were coming from all different areas, and got to find out a lot of guys doing some repairs. Some didn't make it back, heavy damage. Some had some minor damage. They were doing a lot of body work, some header work and stuff like that through everything. So once again, your free preview here, IMCA TV. If you're following along on Race Pass here, you're following along on our lap times. And for you just following along in the stands, thank you so much for being out here. Looks like we might be lining up heat race number 2. Waiting to see if lights go out. My name's the Dirt Dude. I'm out here with Mike Ledwedge, and we're going to call some action here for heat race number 2.
bit of smoke there. Hopefully he'll be all right to come out and start out for the main events.
Well, I think he's running a little bit of smoke out of that car because see how far that car was hiked over? The back end was almost tucked underneath his seat. Left rear was going underneath the car. And PJ was actually ripping off some good times, mid-15s, like a 15.5 on some of that. So track conditions looking good. Hopefully can roll this back in and keep that upper groove going as we get ready for our next one. I think we're going to be going into a sport mod. Oh, a 3 heat.
Like this,
The third heat.
I'll hold it from the bottom now on.
Heat race number 3. We have the 17B out of Bakersfield, California, Tyler Blankenship. And the 61 out of Rosemead, California, Dalton Houghton. That's it. I called his name wrong last night, all night. And then to get in the pits, he's like, oh, dude, here's how you didn't say my name the right way. And I'm like, okay, I'll try and remember that next time, buddy. Houghton is that one. On to row 2, the 51 out of Bakersfield, Gavin Manning. The 44 out of San Diego, Bill Hackett. Row 3 would be the 44. The other one out of Imperial Beach, Joseph Altig. And the 19, Andy Papp out of Gunte. Andy Papp last night wadded that car up, stripped it all down and put it back together. He's out here tonight for heat race number 3.
Where's Gutai out anyhow?
Gunte, I think it's like down, I want to say it's like by the border maybe.
Oh, wow.
Like El Centro, but like Campo area out in that area out there, I do believe. I live here and I don't even know. How bad is that? I only know North County, man. I'm a North County kid. Once again, watching on IMCA TV, heat race number 3. You guys in the stands, hopefully you're enjoying it. Make sure you check out the Spino Family Snack Bar. All kinds of good stuff. Hamburgers, hot dogs, chili cheese fries. Get yourself a monster for our heat races right now. Make sure you do the pay online. Do the credit app or scan the QR code, order online, and pick it up at the window. Food to go from our Spino Family Snack Bar. As we're getting ready here, back to you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Coming down the back chute. He's got the start flag in his hand. Green flag flies for heat race number 3. Once again, right off the ball, Dalton Humpton decides he wants to take off, go to the front. The 17 car in Blankenship decides to settle back into 3rd, allowing the 51 of Gavin Manning to pop up into 2nd. Joe Altig's in the back, swerving back and forth around with everybody. The 44 of Hackett. Looks like everybody's found a particular path they want to stay with on the track. Nobody's switching anything up. Staying right behind each other, right in row, right in good response to each other. 61 looks really, really solid on this race. The 51's looking really tough. Everybody's holding their own. White flag flies for number 61, Dalton Humpton, out of Rosamond, California. Coming out at 3 and 4. Not even a challenge. Up. I take that back up. 61 takes it, followed by the 51 of Gavin Manning. The 17, Tyler Blankenship. Coming in with the 19 of Andy Papp, the 40 of Joe Altig. And then finally, the 44 of Bill Hackett from San Diego.
Tell you something, this track is starting to reel in here real quick. We're getting down to the low 15s right now in our heat races. Real quick before we start our next heat race, I want to let you guys know something really cool I just found out. Our 50-50 night is being done by the El Cajon Cheer Squad. We did a 50-50 last night, and the guy that was out here, Andy Papp, took the 50-50 last night. He won the 50-50. It's over $550, somewhere around there. He gave $300 back to the Cheer Squad, kept $200 for himself. And that's why our 50-50 went last night. And he tore up his car and put it back together. Heat race number 1 for our IMC Sport Mods coming out. We'll go through the lineup real quick here. I think we're still a teaser on IMCA TV, right? Yeah, you guys want a little bit of taste of this? If you want to main vein it, get on IMCA TV. We're giving you a free sample right now. Your lineup right now, heat race number 1 for IMC Sport Mods will be the 8 of Ty Rogers out of Yuma, Arizona. Outside of him will be the 9 out of Gilbert, Arizona, Nick Savaglio. Row 2 will be the 47 out of Chula Vista, Stephen Luch. Outside of him will be the 27 out of Tucson, Arizona, Jeremy Smith. Row 3, the 7K, last night's main event winner out of El Cajon, Dave Capella. And outside him, the 3D out of Yuma, Arizona, Dale Ottman. And in the last row, the 31 out of Yuma, Arizona, Jim Robertson. Will be our lineup, heat race number 1.
First heat race for the Northern Sport Mods, 8 laps, 6 cars coming around. And the green is flying. The AT pulls off, takes a middle groove. The 9 stays low. For that reason, they keep their position, and the AT tires just starts to take right off. Seems to be looking like the best group. The 7 cars put out a good race with the 27 of Jeremy Smith. Coming up side by side. It's fun to watch Capella and Smith going into the turns. We'll see what's going on. A little bit of smoke's popping out of the 72, or the 47 of Stephen Luke. I'm sure they're going to take a close look at that, see where the smoke is coming from. More on brakes, which usually means a rubber. Oh, he's got a left rear flat on the 47. That could be an issue. We'll see if he's going to just run it out or if he's just going to pull to the infield, which I think is probably the smartest bet here, since this is only a heat race. And there he goes, 47 off the field. The AT of Ty Rogers still extending his lead as our starter picks up this white flag, getting ready for one final lap. The white flag flies for number 18, Ty Rogers, followed up by the 9 car, Nick Savaglio. The 27 of Jeremy Smith and the 7, Dave Capella, find it out in the back. Checkers fly for Ty Rogers. Second place, Nick Savaglio. The 7 car, Dave Capella, takes up in front of Jeremy Smith, a 27 car. And the final car coming across the start-finish line is a 3D car of Dale Ottman out of Yuma, Arizona.
So on to our next. We're going to do one more on IMCA. One more. This is your last chance here on IMCA TV Free View. I want to actually send a shout out to Bill Miller back in Yuma, Arizona. He has some medical issues he's recovering from. Bill, I hope you're watching. Hope you get better, buddy. On to our second one here. And hopefully you guys are watching it. Once again, log on to IMCA TV or fill out the subscription and become one of our friends here racing here at Barona Speedway. Waiting on heat race number 2 for IMCA Sport Mods. lineup will be. In the 14 RT, last night finished second place at El Cajon, Jake Triska. Outside him will be the 4J out of Lakeside, California, Jason Aldridge. Row 2 will be the 55 out of Yuma, Arizona, Keith Riley. Outside of him, the 19 out of Ramona, Mike Pridgeon. And row 3 will be the 36 at El Cajon, Joe Malone, and the 37 BR. That is out of El Cajon, Nick Brady. And the track's looking good here. Once again, still got that sun in our eyes a little bit. Well, man, it wasn't as brutal as yesterday, but another hour and we'll be back over the hill, and you guys in the stands here have a little bit of a break. Hopefully everything's going to be great tonight. The track is really looking good. What do you think, Mike?
I am. I'm surprised that they haven't come out here and done anything to it. Usually by now they come out and see what's going on, but it looks really good. Everybody's picking up the different spots. Even though it's going to be cut at intermission, it's still a good place to be right now, and they can figure out what's going on with their cars. So looking pretty good, especially coming out of 3 and 4. Sorry.
I kind of like explain this to everybody. This track's like kind of like a brownie. It stays like gooey in the center. It'll crust up on the top, and then once the sun goes down, it cools down, and the moisture kind of wicks back up to the top. This track kind of just rejuvenates itself for some reason. If not, we'll cut it, do some watering on it. We have a dirt Zamboni we'll bring out here. Once again, our blade operators magic on this track as we bring out heat race number 2 for IMCA Sport Mods. For sure. Once again, last night finished second place, Jake Triska. Jason Aldridge. Jason Aldridge, one of our drivers out here helping out. He's sponsored like a lot of the drivers checking in. He's covered a lot of the entry fees for some of the drivers. Doing some great stuff. Next race out here, Jason Aldridge and his family is helping out with a lot of drivers and doing a lot of sponsorship here at Barona Speedway. As there's a nice sun cover in turn 3. It's got nice shade to it. Back out to 4, man, it's still got a little bit of sun. 1 and 2 still over here. Last night, if we could keep the sun off a little bit or keep it like the hydration into that 1 and 2, and they roll it in, if they get up there and start rolling that in, we'll see the top and bottom come in on this one. Like I said, last night, man, they were just 3 wide in turn 3 and 4, and then kind of single grooving at the top. There's a lot of loose marbles. Looks like the lights are out on the track. IMCA Sport Mod Heat Race number 2. Going to be coming in to the Lafayette Winder start zone. Jake Triska leading around. We're going to look for a green. Green is out. Heat race number 2 underway. As Jason Aldridge jumps out in front, Jake Triska, and on the outside, the 19. Pridgeon took a look to the outside as Triska put a shot across the bow and held him off. Aldridge out in front, Triska in second. Then the 55. Down the back straight, Pridgeon all the way up to the wall, had to reel it back in. Jason Aldridge, your leader. Then back to the 14, Jake Triska, the 55 of Keith Riley. And the 19 got the 36 of Joe Malone getting around the 19, and the 37 of Nick Brady. Here's your lineup right now. Jason Aldridge carrying good speed. Cars hiked up through around the corner. Look at that perfect view. The 4 of Jason Aldridge, perfect to the corner. Back to the 14 of Triska. Then the 55. Keith Riley in the 55 trying to stay on the back bumper of the 14 of Triska. Triska's losing sight of the 4, Jason Aldridge. Aldridge setting off in the sunset, leaving Jake Triska behind as Triska's battling with the 55 of Keith Riley. Back to 36, Joe Malone. A little bit of smoke coming out of that one. Joe Malone running in 4th, and back to the 19 of Pridgeon in 5th. Nick Brady in 6th. Down the front straightaway, we click off lap number 6 out of 8. White flag should be coming out. Jason Aldridge on a rail, set up perfect. Jason Aldridge, he's going to be looking for a white flag this time out of 4. The 36 Malone having some problems down the back straightaway. And Malone comes to a stop as we took the white flag. Malone goes to the infield. I think it done blowed up. Down the back straightaway for the last time. Jason Aldridge hikes it into turn 3, coming out of 4. Checkered flag on the 4 of Jason Aldridge, followed by the 14, Jake Triska, and the 55 of Keith Riley. 19 of Mike Pritchett, and the 37 of Nick Brady. And over in turn 3, Joe Malone, Motorsports Fire and Rescue. He is smart enough to go around in turn 3 and stop in front of Fire and Rescue as there's smoke coming out. I think he done blowed up. He done got all he could out of that one, maybe. Not sure if that's steam or smoke, because that might be an expensive boom.
I hate to tell you, but that appears to be smoke. Steam tends to dissipate a little bit quicker than smoke does, so we'll see what's going on.
Motorsports Rescue tell me that the 36 of Joe Malone is okay, and they're standing over the hood like, yeah, hey, get out the hot dogs, buddy. That's all it's good for now. It's burned up. Get our pushers or Rickers push truck behind there, El Cajon Ford push truck. And we're going to see if we can maybe move him to the infield as we have our next